I've let my fitness slip. I had it in my head that to be world class in business, you have to really focus on your health first. Ed reached out to me via LinkedIn over a mutual interest of a photograph of me with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We got talking just about how I met Arnie. I think I was in a little bit of denial about my fitness because, I've always been fit. I've used to have a black belt in kickboxing, did martial arts. Maybe in my 20s, I used to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. Maybe in my 30s, I got fit for a period. But the years slip by, you have children, you think that you're still fit, but the reality is you're perhaps not as fit as you think you are. My fitness was out of 10, it was probably a 2. But, in my head, I probably thought it was a 6. I think all parents like to blame it on their children, but I think probably just a lack of inspiration, a lack of motivation, a lack of consistency. It's just putting one foot in front of the other. And that's really how it started. It's just finding point dot and then building on that. And I just hadn't really found that point dot, and I always thought I was quite a motivated person, but I just really struggled to get going. The accountability thing was really, really helpful. And I think that works quite well with me. It's like our weekly check-ins for accountability. I didn't want to slip. We started very small. But even though we started very small, we got huge results really, really quickly. And I said before, it was not just in my, I placed my fitness as a secondary thing to the business. So priority was to be world-class in business first, and your health or your fitness or being fit leads or can lead to that. So how I measured how well I was doing was within the business. And actually, when I went back over my journal for the month we started, I got the biggest results I'd ever had in that first month of us working together. But then when we looked at the secondary thing that we set out, which was my health, fitness, or aesthetics, like how I look, when we looked at the photographs of me, from the before to the first photo I took to a photo just 4, maybe 5 weeks later, there was huge results there. We started very small, and it was me that was pushing to build up on those days at the gym. So we started just 1 day a week at the gym. But, after only a couple of weeks, I was trying to get to two days. And then after maybe a month, I was trying to get to 3 days. And it just compounded from there. And I think raising children and all the pressures of living in London, living in Notting Hill, and, the responsibilities of raising children here, there's a lot of stress and pressure. So, and it's really easy to pick up a bottle of wine and wind down that way in the evening. But working out 5 days a week, maybe more than that sometimes, there's no need, or it's not necessary to drink. So I think not drinking just gave me a lot more patience with my children. I'm definitely not the best dad in the world. My children send me absolutely stir crazy. But I think if I could measure myself against myself, and that's the only thing you really can do in life, you can measure yourself against yourself yesterday. And if I was to measure myself, the version of me as a parent before to the version of me as a parent afterwards, there'd be huge improvement. Ed and I would have a weekly video call, and that would just go over how the week's gone, strengths and weaknesses, like what we could do better, where I needed help. And we talk a lot on that call about nutrition. That's one thing I thought I knew about fitness. I thought I was one of these know-it-all guys that thought I knew everything because I've been going to the gym since I was 18, but never really got the results. Ed really opened my eyes to the nutritional side of it, the requirements there. One of the biggest learnings I had from that call with Ed was, first of all, is like 70% of it is nutrition, whereas I thought it was like 90% was going to the gym, and then the 10% was the nutrition, but 70% of it, maybe even more, is the nutrition. And Ed got me eating way more calories than I thought I ever needed, and that was quite enjoyable, really, because who doesn't want to eat whatever they want? What surprised me was I was just able to eat so much food, and I was putting muscle on. It was really quite enjoyable, and and I wasn't aching as well. It was the great thing. I was working out 5 times a week, but I wasn't waking up and I wasn't aching because I was taking the right nutrition, I was hydrating well, and I was working out just the right amount. Where it wasn't like I wasn't destroying the muscle. It was growing slowly. I was getting big results, and it was just the whole package. It all came together really easily, and it was just that regular checking just to keep you motivated and inspired. And I think just the last thing with the calls as well, it wasn't just like a person. it wasn't just the personal training. It was more of like a motivational. We had some really great conversations, and it was a lot to do with keeping motivated in life and in business. And we bashed around a few ideas, and it just kept it absolutely kept the motivation to keep going up continuously. We had some really great calls, and it was not just about fitness. It was about life. It was about well-being. It was about some really great subjects. The results I got were huge. I'm really proud of my shoulders. My legs, leg day. I hate in the beginning. I hated deadlifts and I hated leg day, but we really focused on turning our biggest weaknesses into our biggest strengths, and I enjoy leg day now. So yeah, overall, my body's in the best shape it's ever been, and I feel and look the best I've looked in 15 years. Let's say, like, I'm in better shape now than when I was going to the gym 5 times a week in my 20s. I'm 42 this week, and Ed's left me in the best shape of my life, by a mile. And not just in my body, but in my mind as well. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for that. In my 30s, I was obsessed with spending money on cars. I'm car free now. I spend all my money on my fitness and health, and prioritize me, because you just get one body, and if you don't start lifting weights, if you don't start taking care of it better, then it's not gonna serve you very well in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So that's key focus for me now. This is just the start for me.